Sometimes, the idea of playing a game can bring us more excitement than actually playing the game itself. There can be many reasons as to why a game can find itself in your backlog, and today, we'll be taking a look into a few games, very popular ones at that I just can't seem to commit to despite how much I feel like I want to complete them. And just because the game is on this list doesn't mean that it's bad or I'll never beat it, but time is a valuable commodity, and you know, we just like to chat and share our gaming experiences on this channel. So if you enjoy the video, be sure to leave a like and subscribe for more gaming content like this, and let me know in the comments 3 games that are fighting to get more playtime on it. To kick off this list, I'm going to discuss a beloved franchise that's had its fair share of love and hate. For me, Assassin's Creed Odyssey finally seemed like the Assassin's Creed game I would truly dive into. I felt like the franchise was begging for me to join in on the fun. Like, I love history, I don't mind stealth in games at all, and the parkour and gameplay elements really seemed to pique my interest. My only real experience with the franchise was way back when Assassin's Creed Unity and Black Flag came bundled as a part of the Xbox One I purchased, and then a few months later, I wound up just trading it for a PS4 so I can play Black Ops 3, but that's besides the point. Back to the main game. Anyway, I never really gave those games a chance at the time besides messing around for a few hours in Unity, but I always knew one day the stars would align and I'd find myself playing an Assassin's Creed game once again. Then finally, in 2019, I had just finished building my first PC, like the best one you could put together at the time. I had a beautiful i9 9900K with an RTX 2080, like those were the good days. But I had the perfect reason to get into the latest installment in the franchise, and from what I remember, Assassin's Creed Odyssey was really well received by fans and critics at the time, but that only means so much really. But in my indecisiveness and a random conversation I had with my older cousin, he was like, yo bro, this game is really like that and you'd fuck with it, and I was just like, bet. This was my sign to let it fly, and like any smart PC gamer, I waited for the next Steam sale and decided to see for myself. Unlike the other games on this list where I have a little bit more playtime, Assassin's Creed Odyssey is a game that I have the least amount of time in, with it only being about 8 hours in the 5 years of owning it. Now you guys would need to let me know in the comments if this game is truly worth my time. Like, do I need to play it more to really get into the loop, or because like I'm really just starting to think that Assassin's Creed is not a franchise for me, which is fine. Like, this game is gorgeous graphically, but maybe it's the setting in this particular installment where the traversal and parkour elements I thought really would enjoy can't really flourish here. Like, there's nothing really compelling me to really return to this game outside of the fact that I spent money and I'm way past the Steam refund date. The protagonists have really been forgettable. Like, I can't honestly recall any fun interactions I've had between any characters. The quests really haven't been all engaging, and the stealth is nothing really for me to get hyped over, and the combat is just okay, but doesn't stand out in any way or really add much to the overall experience to me. And now the more that I'm talking about it, the more that I realize that yeah, the only real reason I still would want to play this game is because of the 20, maybe 30 bucks I spent on it, and at this point, I'm not even sure if this game will see any more of my SSD space anytime soon, but you guys let me know, do I need to spend more time in this game and give it another real chance, or should it remain in my backlog purgatory? Let me know your thoughts on your playthrough of Assassin's Creed Odyssey, or just any others in the franchise in general. The Witcher 3 was a game I felt like I was ready to spend hundreds of hours in with my fancy new PC, and all I needed was a sweet Steam discount and I was ready to take my plunge. Well, not quite yet because it was 2019, and for me, that was prime Fortnite time, so you know I was cranking away, not worried about The Witcher 3 at all. But later in that year, the Netflix show dropped, and you know, the shows can definitely make you want to play a game, so that was my excuse to get back into the world of The Witcher. Well, get into it for the first time after buying it, and after blowing away the digital dust, unlike Assassin's Creed Odyssey, I did play a good amount of The Witcher 3 before inevitably falling off with it. Graphically, this game looked fantastic on high settings, and if you want to play it now with the next gen upgrades, it is significantly better, and I was even pretty engaged with the story. I got to experience the Bloody Baron quest that I've heard mentioned throughout tons of random videos about this game on the internet, and overall, I was really beginning to enjoy the narrative that was being set up for me. And while I had Assassin's Creed Odyssey beaten, not being the dead last of the backlog list, the one thing keeping this game in the infinite loop of the bottom of the backlog is the combat. Now please, let me know if I'm bugging in the comments down below, but when I looked to boot up The Witcher 3, It's not the vast world or the narrative that comes to mind, each of those being good checks in my book, but it's the combat and just the dreading of swinging the swords and the Witcher abilities, which are cool to have theoretically, but like the overall just playing the game in that aspect really psychs me out of it. Maybe this is a game that I need to not play on the hardest difficulty, because it's not that it's difficult, like don't let me evoke the name of Elden Ring, but it's just like I just want the encounters to be over. I feel like I can describe games weird sometimes, like my metaphors may not be 100%, I mean they click in my head, but for me, it feels like this combat is more of something I'd expect from an MMORPG. Like those games and the combat in those games, for me personally, they just never really hit right. Like they just lack whatever type of oomph, I feel like, and that's kind of what I feel like with The Witcher. And that's just, like I said, this is all my personal experience with the game. It just doesn't really hit right for me, and I know this is a game beloved by many gamers out there. So let me know what your thoughts are in the comments down below. Do I need to give The Witcher 3 a true final last shot, or should I just sleep on it? It sucks to have this game top the list of games in my backlog purgatory, but Fallout New Vegas is a game I think I love the idea of playing more than actually playing it. For the 12 hours I've given this game, I've never really found myself committing to it and always shoving it for a later time. It's a game that's beloved by many of those familiar with the franchise, and I think I'd be accurate when people say that it's probably the best in the series, but when it comes down to one main thing holding me from committing to this game, and you can just imagine, this shit is just ass ugly. And I'm typically not a graphics snob, and I don't want to be hypocritical because, man, I do play Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, and those games are fugly at times, but I just can't help it. And like, I know we're talking about a game that's pushing, you know, being almost 15 years old at this point, but even for its time, it wasn't much of a looker comparing other games that were released around 2010. And exploring the wasteland for extended periods of time really doesn't aid in my excitement to complete the game, and playing this game in the small blocks that I've had, I've never really been able to get ingrained into the narrative, so it feels like I'm just going around fucking shit up in this post-apocalyptic world, which isn't so bad, but it's not compelling enough for me to return to the game when I have so many other options. That does bring me to the point of why I know I will get through this game one time, and ironically enough, it's the combat. Let's get this straight, there's barely anything remarkable about the combat in this game, but I do enjoy it like I enjoy ports of MLB The Show on PS Vita and the Nintendo Switch. The game is very inferior to the console versions in every way, but I always used to find the beauty in the shittiness of these handheld ports. I told you some anecdotes and metaphors you may not get, but hey, that's just how it clicks in my head. Anyways, the popping off in the heads can be pretty fun, and the main fun part about the combat itself as well is a VAT system that is unique to the series, and it's just another thing to highlight with all the slow-mo precision shots. Like, those are always fun to watch. Overall, I do enjoy the shooting since it's very simple compared to modern titles, and I do find it being one of the things that keeps me tethered to this game and keeping it off the banish list. I do feel like I will get through Fallout New Vegas someday. I don't know when, but when I do, I feel like I will have that feeling that I wish I should have played it sooner. But until that time, I'll continue sleeping on it until maybe a Fallout 5 announcement, or if I ever decide to watch the show. But that's going to be the end of this video, everyone. What are 3 games you really want to play, but somehow always end up back in your backlog? Share with me in the comments down below. If you enjoyed the video, you already know what to do. Leave a like and subscribe for more gaming content like this. Join our Discord server. Follow me on Twitter. We're growing the community every single day, and I have big things planned for us all. Stay safe, everyone. Peace.